Paige and Brooke, thank you so much for joining us here at the Bentonville Film Festival. We're excited to have you here. I have screened your short, SIS, but for the viewing audience at home who've not had the pleasure yet, please tell them a little bit about the piece.
Yeah, it's a short film. It's based off of my real life. It's about a woman who gets pregnant during the Roe v. Wade overturn and a conversation she then proceeds to have with her older conservative sister.
Excellent. With doing this film, now you've mentioned this is based off personal experience. Did you find that made it easier or a little more of a struggle because you were exposing part of yourself?
I think once we got to the actual filming of it, I had removed myself so much from it that I didn't feel it was difficult to kind of hand this over to our beautiful cast. I felt really comfortable doing that. And I was really able to see it like as a film at that point. I think writing it, I definitely had to do a little bit more of a deeper dive into myself and really how I felt during that whole process. And I think the thing that I didn't have initially in the film, in the script, was how alone Ash is throughout this whole process. I think me as Brooke, that was something I had to work through during the writing process of this. And I actually was having a conversation with my manager and kind of talking honestly about the situation in the film. And he was like, I think you need to incorporate that. I think if that's how you felt throughout this process. And I went through everything completely alone. And so I think I was like protecting Ash in a way as I was writing it and didn't want to expose that part, but I'm really glad I did, because that became a really big focal point of the film, of how alone she is in this process and how she feels she can't talk to her sister, which is really what happened in my real life. So, yeah.
And Paige, for you, playing a role that ties into someone she knows so well, did that make it easier because you had someone to go to, or did you find it harder because you wanted to pay respect? How did that impact you?
It was such an honor to be able to play Brooke's sister. And this process, unlike many others, came naturally for me because the life of Sis was so embedded in the writing. So the writing really did do the work for me. And Brooke has been so transparent and trusting throughout this entire process. And as an incredible actress herself, she was really able to give us what we needed to succeed at bringing this true story to life. So, very grateful for you, Brooke.
I'm grateful for you.
And I have an older sister, and there were some moments between you and the actress playing Ash, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's us.
Oh,
yeah. So it was nice to be able to bond like that with the cast. They're going through this emotional thing, but I'm like, oh, but I'm bonding. And that says something about the piece, the writing, and the directing, and the acting.
Thank you.
So it touched on it. With this piece, of course, there's also other family dynamics that come into play. You have the mother and the two sisters working through the mother. How did that come to be? Is that part of the true, or you just wanted to add additional to?
Yeah, I wouldn't say mom is in the short film isn't necessarily based off of my mom in real life. I wanted to, in the writing process, I wanted obviously to give these sisters somewhere physically to go, because a lot of it takes place as a conversation in the car. And I specifically wanted that. I wanted to place them in a situation where it's not easy to just like walk away, or like, you know, if you're driving down the highway, you can't just like get out. Like, I wanted to force these characters in a space where they couldn't just easily leave. And I feel when I'm in a car, like, I've had some of the most intimate conversations of my life. Like, in a car, it's a different environment, and I think because it's such an enclosed space like that, it does bring out different sorts of conversations. So really, I just kind of, made that up, really. I was like, where are they going? And I was like, well, maybe they could be going to their mom's house. And but the mom character isn't necessarily based off of my real mom. I took liberties with that storyline, but Mo Collins is so brilliant. And that whole family dynamic, that was me as the writer, Brooke, just having a lot of fun with the sisters, but also introducing mom into the picture. I love that dynamic. So that was just me having a lot of fun with just creating these characters.
Good.
Yeah.
Of course, we have Ash, and we have Sis, and we have Mo, who played the mother. It sounds like there are lots and lots of females involved with this project.
Yeah.
How much of the cast and crew was female?
Almost all of the cast and crew were female. All of our keys were female. This is such an inherently feminine story, and I wanted that aspect told through every angle. So it was really important for me to work with primarily females on this project. And the men we had working on it were awesome. But it was a primarily female ran crew. So really happy about that. It was a choice. So yeah.
I love the choice.
Thanks. We do too. It was it was awesome. Yeah.
And have you worked Paige, have you worked with crews before that were mixed? Did you find this to help with the creative process of it?
This was the first time where I worked with a primarily all-female crew, and it was extremely nurturing, and I felt very safe. And we really embodied this wonderful feminine power, and that was a unique and new experience. It allowed me to just be on set and be true to me and be true to the script and to Sis. It was liberating.
Yay.
Yeah.
Well, we like that.
Yeah.
We like that.
Yes.
Do you have any other projects that are coming up that you want to talk about? Is this a short that's proof of concept you're hoping to turn into a full? What more can you tell us about what the future's bringing for the two of you?
I am a singer, actress, and writer, and for the past 4 years have been writing a screenplay of my own that I hope to perform live and then eventually also film. So it's been exciting. It's new territory, and it's really neat to see a lot of women from so many different, modalities coming into the arts and bringing all of those experiences and sharing them. There's a lot of wisdom here at the festival.
Yes, so much. Oh my gosh, it's really exciting. What am I doing next? I just finished co-directing with my amazing partner, Jason Wynn, a documentary. We just finished co-directing a documentary about competitive karaoke. I am so excited. So we're now in post-production for that. And yeah, so that's kind of currently what I'm working on. Obviously continuing writing. Paige and I actually just at this festival talked about another project we would like to work on together. So expect that. I'm very, very excited about that. And that's kind of, and Sis, no, this isn't a proof of concept for a feature or anything like that. I did think about that, but this story for me it was just like a moment in time in my life, and I feel that's what the story is. I think it actually is meant for the short form, and I think I'm going to keep it that way. I don't think it'll go anywhere else further. I think it lives just in the space that it does.
And it's a beautiful space.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And if the two of you, if you could give advice to an up-and-coming or, someone seeing this and they're inspired and they're like, I want to make movies too, what is the one piece of advice you wish you'd had at the beginning of this journey?
I would say, it sounds so simple, but it doesn't matter at what point in your life you're in. Like, you can do it at any time. Like, you're never too young, you're never too old. Stories and storytelling is meant for literally everyone to consume them, to make them, to tell them. So I would say, don't wait. If you have a story that you want to tell it now. Yeah.
I think the biggest focus in more recent years, being an actress and going through the catacombs of New York and discovering how it works here in Los Angeles. I think the biggest focus lately has been self-creating and taking that time. I typically take time in the morning when things are still and really make space for yourself to create. And I try to do that without gripping too much to the outcome, to truly give yourself allowance to create just for the sake of creation and live in that energy. And from that place and that intention, wonderful things happen. And that's really how this came to be. We met at an acting studio. I fell in love with Brooke's talent and her just amazing sense of humor, and she's so real and honest, and thus we began this journey together. So get out into the world and create with other people too.
Yes, yeah. This is such a collaborative art form. Find the people that you really connect with and stick with them. Take them on your journey, and they'll take you on their journey. And I think that's the most exciting part about what this is. So, yeah.
And do you have any social media locations, Instas, Facebooks that you want to share for this film, for following the two of you? You're welcome to give those.
Yes, I have my own personal Instagram that I post a lot about the film on. It's Brooke A. Markham. Yes. And then SIS does have its own Instagram page. I believe it's sis_film24. I think if I'm wrong, it is listed, I think, in my bio and on my personal page. So yes, both me and the film have their own space on social media on Instagram. Yeah.
And I'm very basic. It's just my name, Paige Sommerer, on social media.
Excellent. And do we have you on Spotify that we can hear your music?
Oh, I'm not on Spotify, but maybe someday. Someday soon.
We'll help you get there.
Thank you.
Thank you both so much for being here, and enjoy the festival.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.